What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm gonna be showing y'all how to create a catfish shot creator build, aka Spud Webb in NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now with this build, I'm telling y'all, gonna be one of the only and rare shot creator builds that's gonna have the potential of a 100 plus when it comes down to our perimeter defense and our steal. Now the same is also going to apply to every single area on the playmaking as well as our shooting. Now we will have above a 90 when it comes down to the acceleration on this build. Now this build definitely reminds me of Spud Webb because of the height how we're making it today. Now I know that Spud Webb comes out to 5'7 or 5'6. Today we're going to be making this build at the height of 6'1 and we're still going to be able to hold our own on the defensive end. So look, before we get any further into this video, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. And I would appreciate it if everybody smashed that like button and went ahead and commented down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from watching today, and I most definitely will hit y'all back with a response. So when it comes down to this build, I had to go ahead and bring y'all one of my favorite and most slept on point guards in all of the NBA history. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to put it under the point guard position. Now the main thing about this build and what's going to allow us to get the build name is mainly going to be these body settings. So I'm going to go with the height of 6'1", 168 when it comes down to the weight, and then for our wingspan, I'm actually going to go ahead and put this to 6'7". Now with this area, we have a lot of potential just getting started. Now if you want to go ahead and pick the body shape of build to take up the most space, I really think that's going to be best for this specific build. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the physicals. Now when it comes down to the speed, I'm going to go with an 81, 90 acceleration. I'm going to skip over the strength and the vertical, but from here I'm going to go with an 89 stamina. Now if you want to make adjustments towards this area, go ahead and do so, but I think this is going to be one of the better setups to go with when it comes down to the physicals, especially with that really high acceleration. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of what we're going to be able to do on the defensive end. Now when it comes down to the perimeter defense, I'm going to go with an 84, 95 for our steal, and right there we get a total of 23 badges. Now look, when you adding your takeovers with considering them to be a boost, that's going to be a plus 10, potentially towards two separate areas of a build. Now if you buy your own boost, that's going to be a plus 5, and if you do run with a teammate that does have on floor general, that's going to be another plus 4, and keep in mind the better that we play, our stats will gradually go up as well. So that taken into consideration will allow us to get a 99 plus when it comes down to a majority of these areas. But for the badges that I'm liking, Box Out Beast with Post Lockdown and Chase Down Artist, even Rebound Chaser, but I'm really looking at ankle braces out of tier 2. And then for tier 3, I'm happy that we get Glove and Interceptor with Clamps and Challenger. Now from here, let's go ahead and get started with the offense, and I'm going to get into the playmaking. Now when it comes down to the pass accuracy, I'm going to go with an 85, 96 ball handle with an 81 speed with the ball, and that's going to give us a total of 25 badges. Now I really like Ankle Breaker and Hall of Fame. For tier 2, I'm looking at Quick for Step and Unpluckable as well as Hyperdrive, and then for tier 3, we're still going to be able to core one of these badges, and I'm looking at Clamp Breaker as well as Handles for Days, but Killer Combos is another solid badge that I would love to work with. Now this is going to set us up to get started with the playmaking. Not looking bad so far, so let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the shooting. Now for the mid-range shot, I'm going to go with an 81, 92 3-point with an 84 free throw for a total of 25 badges. Now for tier 1, I really like Midi Magician and Guard Up, Volume Shooter, and then for tier 2, Amped, Green Machine with Space Creator, and the main badges that I'm looking at for tier 3 are going to be Agent 3 as well as Limitless Range. Now keep in mind, I'm going to be real, we will be able to get Sharpshooting Takeover, so that's an even bigger W for this build. And to finish it off, all you need to do is go ahead and throw one tick into the finishing, and we're going to be able to get 9 badges. Now when it comes down to what I'm looking at, I like Giant Slayer and also Fearless Finisher, and you can even consider Pro Touch to be one of the better badges for this area. And if you wanted to throw extra badges towards the finishing, we're also going to be able to equip Slithery. Now, if you want to make any adjustments, now's going to be the time to do so, but keep in mind, you do risk changing the build name. Now, when it comes down to the takeovers, we get the shot creating, sharpshooting, playmaking, as well as the lockdown. Now, for my best interest on this build, first, I would go with Limitless Range. Now, the second takeover is really optional. You have a lot of potential to reach a 100 plus for a few different areas, so just take that into consideration. But for my liking, I'm going to go with Extreme Clams. Now let's go ahead and check out the build to make sure that we made it correctly. And if you followed every single step, we should be getting these three comparisons. And I love that one of them is Stephen Curry. And as y'all can see, we have created the Catfish shot creator build with 100 plus steal and perimeter defense on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Now remember, we get a plus 10 from our 2 takeovers, a plus 5 from buying your own boost, and a plus 4 from if you do decide to run with a teammate that has on floor general. With the fact that our stats gradually go up the better we play, I think this is one of the best, if not the best and quickest point guard build that we can make. It has everything all the way from the finishing down to the defense. Now let's go ahead and get started when it comes down to the badges. Now for the finishing, I like Aerial Wizard, Backdown Punisher, and Giant Slayer. From there, I'm going to go with Fearless Finisher and Pro Touch, and I really believe that this is one of the best setups that we can go with when it comes down to this area, especially with the height of 6'1". Now for the shooting, I really like the badges that we did go with. I'm looking at Mini Magician, Volume Shooter and Hall of Fame, Space Creator Amped, with Gold Agent 3, and Limitless Range. Now these badges are not only going to boost your shooting percentage, but even make you a better threat when it comes down to being deep out of the 3-point range. Now for the playmaking, we have everything that we need: Quick First Step, Hyperdrive, Climb Breaker, Handles for Days, as well as Killer Combos. Now if you did decide to go with this differently, let me know in the comments. But to wrap it up, when it comes down to the defense, we have a lot of badges, especially out of tier 1. Now for tier 2 and tier 3, I like Ankle Braces, Challenger, Glove, and Interceptor. And this is pretty much what the build will be looking like with the badge count. Now let me know if you made this build exactly how I brought it to y'all, and would you recommend any changes towards it? But I just want to say thank you to everybody who did make it this far into the video. And if you did, be sure to comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, so I can hit y'all back with a response. Now look, if you're still watching and it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Go ahead and let me know what y'all thought about today's video, and I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and smashed that like button and turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. But with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.